Now let's step on the fourth stage of our unit cycle, making connections. Do you know what is making connection? In my words, making connection is the fourth stage of the unit cycle, which resembles all the integrated works and transdisciplinary tasks. These works include the integration of different subject and single subject. This time, we have integrated our unit knowledge with the subjects Bangla, English, and mathematics, and also with a few more single subjects. Here are some sample works you can see. Now, this is our first work for display. This is a math integrated work on probability done by one of our friends, Rudashi Tahrin. Here she represented some statements of the prediction on climate change. There were 5 statements and she has to put it in the correct option. She has accomplished the work through her knowledge on the probability likelihood scale. By this work, she was able to develop her self-management skill as she could do the work organizedly, timely, and could make it colorful.
So on the very first of this unit, we had read a story on climate change and rising temperatures, from which we had created a Padlet, which will be shown in the next slide. In that Padlet, we wrote over 5 questions and created over 60 questions in total. From those 60 questions, we were assigned to choose 5 of them except for ours. Here is Rodoshi Tahin's work where she has answered her 5 chosen questions except for hers elaborately. She was really principled while doing this work. Here are the examples. The same scenario can be seen in this task where Salim Sadman Tidib had answered 5 of his chosen questions from the Padlet. And here's the Padlet on our story from climate change and rising temperatures. This Padlet was shared and created by Aditya Pal for our work. These are the works we did on the later parts of the exhibition. Over here, Salim had described a picture of a climate change affected Earth, using a few figures of speech, and he had also wrote a nice poem about it. He has developed his thinking and self-management skills as he accomplished tasks in an organized manner. This is Noboni's English work where she composed a rhyming poem, a couplet type, and had described a picture about climate change using many types of figurative speech. And this is the same work where our friend Mehran had described a picture about climate change using figures of speech and had composed a poem too. Over here, our friend had written an editorial letter after watching a Bangla video on climate change and its impacts on the world and on Bangladesh too. You can see them here. And this is a Padlet shared by Aditya Pal for writing our poems on climate change. Here are the 3 best poems written by Salim, Noboni, and our friend Rodoshi Tahrin.
Now, let's step on the math integrated work for this making connection stage. This is our first math integrated work, where we had to represent the highest and lowest temperature of Bangladesh through a line graph, bar graph, or any graph we have learned in the whole grade 5 session. Then we had to interpret the line graph elaborately, as shown in the second picture. By this work, we have developed our self-management skills as we could do the work and make it organized, and also develop the skill reflective as we were able to reflect on the data for interpreting the line graph. The same work is here also done by one of our friends. She has also represented the data. After finishing the first task, she interpreted the line graph elaborately, which also expressed her IB learner's profile reflective. Now, in this slide, we are showing Muhammad Ariz Iqbal's and Radifa Narmin's work on the same task. These are the line graphs created by them. Although they haven't interpreted the line graph, they had done it organizedly. This also developed their self-management skills. This is a Bangla video by me, Shanila Samiha Khan, and my friend Rutushi Tahrin. This is another Bangla listening assessment video made by my friends Mehran Sadiq Rahman, and Muhammad Arif Iqbal. Here, we were to watch a Bangla video on climate change and make a few questions for our pair, then ask any 4 questions from them. After asking those questions, we had to assess them, and this is the way how we accomplished our peer assessment. Next person from those 2 persons also had to do the same, but like vice versa. Now this is the overall video of all our selected works except of the Bangla listening assessment videos. We have included all the selected works that were in the whole PPT.